Hi guys, as I'm sure you can tell again, my voice is still kind of shot, and I'm still a bit sick, but today we're going to be going over the January 2nd update content patch, and with this, there are a couple things we need to talk about. Now, if you saw the brief summary or overview, there were certain things like the Biblis rerun, new Aiden, and the check-in event, all of which are pretty cool, but let's go into exactly what was showcased or what we have coming up soon. First thing that we have is the new side story, new side story. It's a rerun of the Biblis and Blooming Litica side story, and if you're someone that, I guess, wants to do something like Hell Raid, or if you're someone that likes Blooming Litica, who's personally, I think, one of my favorite characters now, especially with the Dev Pen change, this is definitely an opportunity for you to pull from them if you so choose. However, if you aren't familiar with what the old side story or special event that they had alongside this activity was, it's this, like, you have to sit on screen with the guard and you have to click and pick them up and stuff, which is okay. It is what it is. They haven't changed much from what I understand, but not that big a deal. There's like a couple of quests or like stages that you have to clear as well for additional resources, but overall it's an event. It gives you new resources, or it gives you more resources, and you can use that to build whatever characters you want. But the thing that we have to talk about now is, well, the fact that this update is not really an update. As you can see, after the Biblis event, all we have basically announced is the Fire Haste banner, a few adjustments, and as always, for whatever reason, a renewing of the Start Dash pack, which just seems to come like basically every couple months. Which it is what it is. If you are someone that wants to pull for a character, or if you want to get good value, I'm not going to tell you how to spend your money, of course. But then we need to talk about what was also announced at the same time as this event. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the limited 2025 New Year pack sale. Now, I want to make one thing absolutely clear. If you're someone that enjoys whaling on epicseven, hey, by all means, this is probably, or all the catering towards selling packs and stuff is probably geared directly for you. And if you're someone that is more free to play, this shouldn't affect you, right? Well, let's break it down. So the first pack that we have here is a New Year value pack, where now you gain, I don't even know how much this is, but it's 100 Skystones, 5 leaves, and you get some random amount of, Skystones. This is just plain and simple, appears to be some sort of gamba or gacha. I don't really know what the point of this pack is. I'm assuming this is going to be like a $1 pack or like a $5 pack. Regardless though, excuse me, this doesn't really seem like a pack that's worth buying if it's any more than $1. And if you're free to play, honestly, 800 or even 200 Skystones, which is very likely what you'll actually get, is not really worth it in general. If it's $1 though, it is what it is. If, you know, it's basically a burning passion with it having 5 leaves. Now, the next pack we have to talk about is this New Year Hero Summon pack. Now, if you have already begun feeling as though the update or the January 2nd update is more catered towards packs than towards actual content, you would not be insane. As you're seeing on screen right now, this new pack has a Potion of Ascension, 10 4 to 5 star Hero Summon tickets, a Slate of Fate, and a 5-star Covenant summoning book. Now, to be clear, this says you summon, or you, after summoning 3 random heroes, you can choose and obtain 1. And the characters within the list, specifically from that you can choose from, are Elvira, Fenris, Brigitte, Janua, and Mortal Wukong. Now, to be honest, none of these characters feel mandatory or must-haves, so this pack already seems kind of whatever. But okay, regardless, if you're like a whale or a new player and you want to get ahead, maybe you'll purchase this, right? But then we have to talk about the next pack. And again, excuse me. And again, if this has already felt like they put more thought into the packs than they put into the update, you wouldn't be wrong. This is another equipment pack that's being advertised and sold, which is an 88 plus 15 set of gear for speed and HP set, alongside charms and greater modification gems. Now, this by itself is not the big a deal. If you take a look at the gear here, it is what it is. It's okay, I suppose, and it's decent if you're trying to build HP or more supportive characters, especially Soul Weavers. But we should pause here for a moment, because there is something we need to address, which is, okay, there are a lot of you that are probably thinking to yourselves, oh my god, Smilegate is only focusing on releasing packs, and oh my god, the game is becoming pay to win. And while I definitely understand and agree with that sentiment in a sense, something that I've seen, or a very interesting take that I've seen on this this update and this situation, is that if this is, you know, if whales or other players purchasing this, purchasing these packs is what keeps the lights on for Smilegate specifically, hey, I'm not going to complain. Though I do think that the more valid criticism here is that, again, it is a bit ridiculous that despite adding these packs, there's nothing else alongside it. Now, okay, you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, gear, fine, whatever. Like, we've sold gear, or they've sold speed HP hit sets before, but then we have two final packs that we need to talk about. The first being, excuse me, the first being the New Year Artifact Selection Pack, and this just cannot be worth it. This has Bird's Eye View, like a number of artifacts that are honestly kind of whatever, but interestingly enough about like this pack specifically is that while it does have Powder of Knowledge, Artifact Charms, and the summon tickets, a lot of the artifacts that you're seeing here are artifacts that you need to either have max or have at a certain level in order for you to even find value in it. I'm looking at you specifically, Renewed Will and Bird's Eye View, where if you aren't at least, I believe 21 or 24 for Bird's Eye View, and if you aren't at least 100% for Renewed Will, these feel kind of bad. Now, if all these packs just seemed like nonsense or whatever to you, and you've completely ignored it up until this point, that's fine. But then we have the New Year Moonlight Hero Pack. Now, again, I'm not going to be the one to advise or give you financial advice specifically for pulling when it comes to epicseven, but consider the following. Consider the following if you're about to buy this pack. What this pack reads is that, again, you are able to pick from 6 Moonlight Heroes, or you're able to pick one from a total list of 6 Moonlight Heroes. If I'm not mistaken exactly, it's like you have like a random chance to get one of these random characters here, of which may or may not be decent or valuable. And if we just take a look at the characters that are being advertised or you can potentially have, truth be told, getting someone like Senya, Politis, Arceti, Ilanov, or Numa Luna is honestly pretty good if you are missing any of them. However, from what I understand, there isn't anything stopping you from getting a dupe. So that's why I think a lot of people have been quite harsh and a bit critical of this pack specifically, because you aren't even able to guarantee that the one you get is a new character, yet alone be a selector, which is what I think most people want. However, this pack obviously has a couple of concerns with it, which is mainly what happens if you get Dragon King Sharoon. Now, unfortunately, Dragon King Sharoon has kind of fallen off in terms of what her value is. Some people do still use her. However, I think a majority of people, especially if they're trying to fight against someone like DDR, have relegated themselves to using someone like Schneel, which, I mean, in that case, you're basically getting power crept by like an RGB. But this pack by itself is extremely misleading because, again, it kind of picks out your FOMO. I guess misleading isn't the word, but it seems very enticing. However, because there's a chance that you just get Dragon King Sharoon, or there is a chance that you just get a dupe ML5, this pack is definitely not for players that are more veteran to the game, especially if you have a majority of these, or at least have like 4 or 5 of these Moonlights. If you are a new player, I can maybe understand buying this if you want to catch up or get ahead, but honestly, if you get Dragon King Sharoon, no matter what, it is going to feel bad. But that kind of leads us to the final topic that I want to talk about for epicseven and kind of give my thoughts on, which is this new monetization model that they're running up. To be clear, selling gear that has certain limits that aren't super insane, I understand the idea behind it, and even if I don't necessarily agree with selling pre-rolled gear, if that's what keeps, again, the lights on for a small gate, I understand. And if that's what whales want, or caters to whales, or appeals to whales, if that's what allows people to catch up, by all means. You know, like one person having a 12 speed, you know, decent Soul Weaver set, or like a 17 speed hit set is not going to ruin the game for me. However, specifically for what we're seeing right now, this whole fixation on monetization for the game is starting to get a bit overboard. And I kind of mentioned it specifically with the different passes, the Winter Inheritance Pass and the Ancient, or whatever, the Legendary Inheritance Pass, battle passes that we had. It feels like, at least for me personally, we haven't had anything major since the anniversary. And since then, though, we've gotten things like the PC client, which is pretty cool. You can only run on fumes of, or you can only run on the hype that we had from the anniversary event for so long. There's no collabs being announced. Every character that comes out has some weird new niche that you have to pull for. And even with Aiden, who I just made a video on earlier, that character is a 3-star turned 4-star dark character that we now have to pull on the Mystic summons. It feels very weird, personally, to see the direction that epicseven is going down. And although I do, again, understand the monetization model, I don't necessarily agree with them foregoing any decent, you know, development of content just for them to, well, you know, honestly just throw or shove packs at us. I will say, for the Young Senya event, like that whole animation with Alencia and Young Senya, that was definitely something, or that was more on the right direction, or in the right direction, on the right path. However, excuse me, as I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably expecting, or have probably felt too, that one event is not going to make up for the months of us not really having any other content. And I guess if you're a newer player, having too much content would feel like sensory overload or a lot of bloat. But for veterans, and speaking from a veteran POV, it hasn't felt like we've had an insane amount of things to do, or we haven't had an insane amount of changes. New characters have been coming out, but they didn't do anything for the preseason of RTA. They haven't done anything in regards to, I guess, adding like guild content. The 3v3 battle, if I'm not mistaken, was supposed to be something that we were going to have, or like there was supposed to be a new PvP mode that was coming out in the future. That also hasn't really taken off. So with all these things, it feels a little bit weird, or it feels, I guess, a bit stagnant is a better word to describe what's been going on in epicseven. And with that, guys, feel free to let me know in the comment section what you think about the patch. As always, though, hope epicseven has more content to introduce, not just all these packs. Again, I get it. It's how they make money and they're a business. But ultimately, when you replace any content development in exchange, or you just replace any content development with just packs, feels a bit weird. Anyways, thanks again for watching. Happy New Year again. epicseven's New Year event is literally just check-ins. We didn't even get like a skin or anything. But yeah, thanks again for watching, everyone. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you enjoyed. Again, apologies for my voice. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy. Good night.